Hi everyone. This is Sai from LetsUpgrade. So let's talk about how to get your certificate. It's very simple. You will see two links in the description. Number one is the place where you have to go and mark your attendance. Marking your attendance tells us like, okay, you are a legit student who have attended this particular session. Link number two is your assignment. This is where your 90% of the priority is. You have to go and submit the assignment that is given to you in this particular session. Once you're done submitting that assignment, we will be evaluating that. We will send you an email. If you get the passing criteria, then only we will give you the certificate on a particular date that is mentioned again in the description. Please check these three things, and this is the way how you will get a certificate from Let's Upgrade. Number one, mark your attendance. Number two, just go ahead and upload your assignment. Check for the email that you have received it, yes or no. What is the feedback that you have received from your trainer? Number three, check on which date the certificates will be released. Thank you. Bye. All the best. Happy learning.
All right. Now that we understand the core elements, let's move to the practical step of designing a brand, right? So step one is to define your brand vision. Before you start building, you need a blueprint, right? You need to know where you are going. So take time to reflect on your vision. Ask yourself, what makes me take, or what are my passion, what is my strength, okay? Define what you stand for. Define the value you bring, okay? Define what sets you apart in the crowd, what set of principles are different for you. Think of your vision as your North Star, right? When you get lost in the noise, this vision is something that can track you back. For example, people will try to dilute your vision, people will try to make you feel overwhelmed wherever you're going anywhere, interacting with them. But the vision, the blueprint is something that can always bring you back, that there is no rush involved, there is always a chance to step back and take your time to make things right. Because the truth is that whenever we're building our own brand, remember, we don't have to become prejudiced, we don't have to act biased, we have to be very clear. Our vision has to be very clear, rest will follow. So vision is like a foundation of everything that you want to build on top of it, right? So get your vision right and things will work in your favor. The next thing is to identify your audience, okay? So again, when you will practically start building the brand of yourself, you will next try to find is your audience, right? So this is where most people go wrong. They can speak to everyone, they can create content for everyone, they can appeal the mass audience. Instead, you should try to pick some specific group, right? Decide who wants your vision, what you can deliver from your vision, and who will use it, right? Who does it impact, who do you want to serve, okay? So any principles of project management, if you follow the project management principles, you will understand that you have to define your stakeholders. You have to define who is of more value to you, who is something that has more importance to giving back to your brand. Research them, engage with these people, ask questions. The more you understand your audience, the more effective your personal branding becomes, right? Because at the end of the day, personal branding isn't about you, it's about connecting people to you, right? So that's the most important thing that you'll have to do. Define the pain points, understand their aspirations, meet them wherever they are, and connect with people and identify your audience is something that you will do once you have your vision, okay? So again, how these steps align: number one, you will identify your vision, and once you have the vision, number two, you will connect to your audience, okay? And this is an iterative process. You will have to do a lot of trial and error. There might be some process in which you derail, then you will have to get back, maybe you'll have to step down, maybe you'll have to refurbish things, maybe you'll have to refactor some components, maybe you'll have to alter things, okay? After all the overhauling in your identification process, maybe at some point you will reach a conclusion that, okay, you start making sense, you start connecting people, you start finding your audience, okay? So that will come through engagements, research, and understanding people, right? So that's more important then comes the research competitors, right? So step three is basically to research your competition, right? Well, the most common notion is that we can also learn by observing. Okay, so when I say to observe, it means that you will have to first understand. So, for example, if I'm a mechanical engineer and I'm bringing in, or maybe let us take something like I'm a content creator. Okay, and if I'm bringing in a portfolio that mentions all the skills that a content creator might need. Okay, but you will realize that there are some brand in your career path. Okay, some people who have built their own brands, some personal branding. These people, you can try to observe them that hey, even they are just content writers, but what is something else that they are bringing on picture. Okay, so observing and learning is something that is useful. So what successful people are doing in this field. Okay, how do they stand out? What defines people successful in this field? Okay, how does your personality resonate with them? Analyze their strategies, analyze their behavior. Okay, what content is driving their branding? Okay, how do they engage with their audience? What platforms do they use? Okay, break down your branding, because it's no harm to observe and learn. Okay, along with that you have to make something which is unique. So notice the gaps, notice gaps where these people are still lacking. Maybe you can try to find reviews, peer reviews, and maybe their audience, whatever communications. If you can try to understand that, you will realize that there are some gaps that you can bring in. You can fill those gaps. That's how you always start with any sales, right? So any type of sale, despite ourselves being our own personal brand, if we have to sell ourselves, we'll have to first identify the market gaps. Okay, so the goal is to learn from others, also to identify the gaps that the people are bringing in. Remember, authenticity is the key. Just how many brands can be lost by becoming duplicate brands, your personality can also be lost if you're trying to mimic someone, right? So you can absolutely learn from others, but you cannot deceive yourself by replicating their identity. Okay, so research broadly, but create uniquely. That's something that I would like to say is most important in personal branding. Okay, now once you would have analyzed, found your audience, set your vision clear, research the competitors, learn from them, maybe just do some brainstorming, find some gaps. Next is to create your USP. Okay, so step 4 is to create your unique value position, which is also known as USP or unique selling position, whatever you want to say. So unique selling position is a point where you will fill those gaps. So what is one thing that you do better than someone else? It's not a job title, it's about transforming, right, what you can deliver. So of course, if you even if you look at top brands such as iPhone and iPhone and Samsung, even these two brands might have their own USPs. It's very true. Similarly, if I bring in 4 different people as a persona, if I bring 4 different developers on ground on paper, they will have their own personality traits. Okay, they all will have their USPs. Okay, so for an example, some backend developer could be good with front end, but some backend developer could be really good with some other techniques. Some backend developer would be good with communication skills. Some backend would be good with AI also. So there could be many different plus and downs that there can be there. But in order to sell your brand, okay, so maybe you have a knack for simplifying complex technical things, or maybe you have a knack for designing few things in your own style. Like there's a typical style that comes in your art. Okay, that's your USP. Maybe you are really good with abstract modern paints. Okay, maybe you can design things in a creative fashion. That's your USP, that you can revamp the complete look. Maybe UI is your USP. Maybe to design few things. Maybe you are a really good artist when it comes to motion graphics. Maybe you're really good at maybe static image generations. Maybe your USP is your creative logos, whatever it could be, whatever branding that you can bring in and sell high. That these are the things that have to be a top pillar. Okay, so for an example, as a salesman, whenever I have to sell something, there could be some minor plus points that could be paged, but there has to be some extremely vocal points that are so loud that I can bring in. So for an example, if I want to buy a car, if I go to a Tata showroom, well, they will not bring in the point that maybe the mileage is down, maybe the service has its own compromise, but they will always pitch in that, see, this is really a safe car. Okay, so you are buying safety for your home. They will try to connect your emotions with your family and try to bind you with that USP. Okay, but USPs are supposed to do that. USPs are supposed to be so powerful that so that there's ample opportunity they to learn them, just simply scream your uniqueness, okay? They have to bring that out. So it's the only thing that can't be copied. And if at all there has to be a copy, it won't be what you are, okay? So USPs are something that are really unique to yourself. They are somewhere also boosted by your talent. They are somewhere also boosted by skills you learn, okay? So USPs are something that you become the best at. So even for an example, a cricketer could be really good at bowling. So bowling could be their USP as a cricket player, but they are still in the team despite they cannot bat well. But yes, USP is something that you can sell. So as any field person, you have to identify some USPs that you do really good. So for an example, if as a AI developer, I cannot simply boast that I'm the best person when it comes to research. No, I cannot boast that I'm the best person when it comes to the complete full stack engineering. I can maybe boast I'm good at communication if that works for me, okay? And that will work for me because I have tried and tested that part. So maybe I can try to pitch myself that I can take up your communication parts, I can take up your client engagements, I can take up your discussions and board panels, whatever you want, presentations, whatever you want, okay? That can be done. When technology starts, so that's where USP will come into picture, a differentiator that why you are useful and why you are needed, okay? So that's said. Now, once you're done with the USP, next part would be okay. So let's get this punchline. Your brand statement is your elevator pitch. It should be powerful, punchy, and make people understand instantly why they need you or why they don't. Okay. So when I say why they don't, it's also really important to understand that you have to set apart from the competition. Okay. So maybe the services are maybe for elite class. So maybe the people don't need me when the services are not really professional. If you don't really need a professional, maybe you don't need me, okay? That's the kind of impact, the kind of heaviness that you can bring in your pitch. So with that being said, let us move ahead, which is to optimize your social profiles, okay? So when I say optimize your social profiles, well, this is really important. Your social media profiles are your business landing page ideally, okay? When someone discovers that someone like me exists, they will try to research me, they will try to go through, try to learn about me, so they can either come on my website if I have one, they can come on my LinkedIn, they can come on other platforms which I am open to share, okay? And my bio is something that communicates my USPs, the compelling headlines, the recent posts, the recent stories, the high quality professional photos that I can bring in are something that will draw the impact, the first impression, okay? So again, this is where tools like Canva AI can really help you optimize your social profiles, optimize your content, maybe give you a better banner, maybe give you a better profile picture if you want to edit something, maybe create interesting content for you, maybe you want to create a presentation, maybe you want to create a slide, maybe you want to create a photo. Tools like Canva AI can definitely fill that gap for you and make your profile look much more professional, okay, than just simply using a paint or a simple tool, right? So LinkedIn is especially very crucial for professional building. So make sure your LinkedIn profiles are complete, optimized, and consistently updated. Remember that if your history tracks that you were active on LinkedIn a year ago is not a great digital remark, you personally would often won't like to give this impression, okay? So make your representation the best. Remember that when we are talking about building personal brand in digital age, we cannot bring in the best perfumes, the best makeup, the best t-shirts and the best garments, okay? You cannot design your attire because this is not offline, this is completely online, and in online your profile speaks, okay? So your profile photo, your maybe background pictures, maybe your banners, maybe the kind of content you're sharing, the kind of content you're delivering online, these are highlight the hidden becoming your dress code, okay? So imagine if we have to impress someone, we can try to dress better in physical world. If we have to impress someone digitally, we can try to dress our profiles better, okay? So that's the most important point that you can remember. Apart from it, yes, consistent high quality content. I think we can skip this slide. I've just explained you that you can share your knowledge that helps audience grow. You can inspire, motivate people in your community. Maybe you can be the voice of authenticity that whatever you want. You can don't just post every piece of content should serve a specific purpose for your brand goal. Okay, remember that's very important. So next part is to engage with the audience. Show that you actually care. Okay, don't just be there greedily trying to stay active on LinkedIn. So for example, if I say you have to stay active on LinkedIn and you have to do some brand positioning, brand media post, don't just be there. In fact, actually you will have to start catering the requests. You will have to start looking into the people. You will have to respond to as many comments as you can. Initially it has to be every comment also. Okay, so like I say that if I'm trying to grow my digital footprint, in every lecture even I try to pitch this, that okay, if you want to connect with me separately, if you have any doubt, since this sessions are being recorded, okay, and the sessions, they are not live. So in that case, if you want to discuss anything with me, you know, I can be available on LinkedIn. You can connect with me. You can try to find GAURAVLOTEY37. It's on Instagram, it's on LinkedIn. I'll be more than happy to engage myself as a personal brand and help you with any doubts. It could be any doubts related to career, any doubts related to maybe your professional life. I will be more than happy to help you with that. Okay, so with that being said, similarly, this is the kind of pitch you will have to bring in for yourself also. If you have to engage with your audience, you will have to ensure that you give them a platform where they can connect with you. And in the very initial phase, you won't even have much, so make sure that you try to give the best of whatever is available. So any comment coming in is your important audience. Okay, now again, you can access your progress. You can use tracking tools. Again, as I say, I can also build some interesting slides. Again, for this I can use some maybe I'll use some Jira boards. Well, not sorry, not Jira boards. I wanted to say some boards like maybe I can use simply as an Excel is very simple. No one needs to even know programming for it. But you can use such tools, maybe some tools where you can track in that how are you progressing. But apart from it, there are many more tools like analytics tools, LinkedIn Professional, or the Pro version of LinkedIn, or the YouTube Analytics, or any digital analytics can help you understand what are your impressions, how many clicks, how many views, how many comments. Okay, so you can build a dashboard also on accessing your digital progress along with your personal tracking with an Excel sheets or things like that. Okay, then you can keep on refining. You can remove the components which are not working and increase the components which are doing favor in your personal branding. Okay, so with that being said, again you will have to invest in development. When I say invest in development, so after office you cannot just sit back, play with your PlayStation, or have I mean, like, I don't want to pitch it like this. It's really wrong. I don't want to say that don't have time with your family, don't play PlayStation and all, but usually what happens in a day-to-day life, in especially in today's world, the job life and personal life has become so hectic to manage that forget personal branding, forget this discussion of today. You barely manage to even work with your health. Like for example, if you look at a person like me, I am working at least around like 16, 17, 18 hours, including my work, including the community that I'm delivering. So for example, if I have to deliver some lectures offline, online, or if I have to work on myself, invest, and then I also have to manage things, so my work hours could go much above the 14, 15 hours mark on daily basis. So which is where I can also see the impact that my health is impacted. So for an example, if you see my diet is not great, my personal life has a major impact on it. But the real part is that someone has to actually play, and this comes from my experience. If I'm delivering you that personal branding, before you start even with these concepts, you will have to first start time management. Okay, so when I say time management, time management is not no more rigid. Okay, you don't have to ideally follow your grandfather's advice or elderly's advice that sleep at 9 and wake up at 4. No, what we have realized as humans is that time works different for all of us. So if you really like to sleep late, it's completely fine. You can sleep by 12, you can sleep by 2, you can get up at your own pace, never compromise on your sleep. But once you are up, make sure that you do not waste your morning hours. So one advice I can give you is that once we get up, that lag of 2 to 4 hours that we waste before starting our day is something which is really productive. So anyone who gets up at 4 and get their maybe some work done, maybe doing some personal activities, and then investing in development, which is the slide we are talking about. These things can be covered in the initial hours, and once you manage your work hours, you have your evening for your personal time also. But again, as I said, that nothing has to be rigid, everything has to be personal, and you will have to be greedy in this choice. You will have to be greedy plus rigid plus determined plus consistent in the point that you fix a timetable, whatever works the best for you. And the most important part is the most critical part is, as a beginner we always tend to overwhelm ourselves. As beginners we make our timetable so rigid that some people can have a clock to clock, an hour to hour timetable for them. Well, don't start like that. Start with improving your sleep cycles. Start with one activity at a time, okay? So for example, if your activity is to get up in the morning, and in the next 2 hours you have to finish your gym, and then you have to learn something, just do that one task for the day, okay? Just manage sleep and this task. Rest things will slowly start following. Don't burden yourself with the ideal timetable. So when it comes to invest in development, that's really important for us. Why? Because we have to read widely. We have to learn skills. Of course, that if today I am delivering content on AI, suppose if I didn't upskill myself, I would have been still teaching what linear regression or supervised learning or unsupervised learning is, okay? Or I was just stuck with teaching how transformers or how deep learning part works. I would have completely missed the generative AI part, okay? So that's really important. Remember to stay updated. So Gen AI is the new trend. I'll quickly read about it. I'll start learning. I personally I buy courses around it. Okay. So for example, if I have to deliver something, I would first go read, buy content, learn from others, learn from my networking. So when I say networking, so in my WhatsApp, I would have some great channels on Reddit, on LinkedIn. I have some interesting platforms where I get to learn things from different point of views. So for example, if in my community a big event is happening, for example AI summit was happening, if I would, since AI summit was a very big event, you all know, but suppose if there is even a minor event happening and I miss this information in some emails or some channels, I surround myself with so many networking that peers perspectives come into a network, and I will get to know, okay, this is happening, okay, this is something new, okay, this is emerging, okay, this is the future of the skills, okay, this is the analysis, and so and so and so, right? So that's important. Investment in development is number one, to always keep on upskilling, okay? So always understand how the trend works. So for example, now generative AI has come into picture, so this will also somewhere impact UI designers, okay? You will have to slowly start understanding digital content creation. People will slowly start to understand what is AI good at, okay? What part of my manual components can I switch to AI, and how I can embrace AI? Remember, if we are talking about people who are into the digital world, people who will be doing content creations and graphic generations, and you're a graphic guy, you will have to firstly pay attention to how AI is shaping. How tools like Canva is a friendly tool, but if you are developing this behavior, this is applicable, or developing this career, this is applicable to all of you. You will have to look at your advanced softwares also, how they are maturing with AI, and how you can learn this skill. The faster you learn, the quicker it is for you to be job ready and available in the market as a brand also, right? So the biggest the problem is inconsistency. So for an example, I'll give you a very personal example. Like my mother, she has recently developed an interest to make reels, okay, on YouTube on different things. So she loves gardening, she loves cooking, she loves maybe animals, and she loves to take scenic views, okay, as vlogs. So what I am telling her is that since your branding is not very well focused, like for example, I'm a dog lover, And if your branding matches, if your vision matches me, that your vision is to deliver content and reels about dogs, then I would be really interested in your channel. But if with dogs I'm seeing gardening, if I'm seeing content about how to cook things, or maybe some random stuff, that's inconsistency. That's one inconsistency in terms of noise. Other inconsistency that can come up is maybe you're not delivering content on time. Maybe I don't get anything to view on a weekly basis, on monthly or daily basis. So ideally, initially, as you are starting off, remember consistency is the key. I'm not telling you that on daily basis you have to do something which is great and phenomenal. No, you can do some posts which don't draw much impact. But the problem is that all digital platforms somewhere have algorithms. Okay, all these are softwares. The LinkedIn, the social platforms, they are all built somehow on some platforms, right? So in order to be active on them, to leave your digital mark, a consistency is needed. That people should know that this page is alive, that even if you post once a week, people should know that hey, today is Monday, this person is going to post something for us. So that should be there. It could be daily, monthly, or quarterly, or yearly. Magazines come every year or every quarter, reports come every quarter, year, month, or a week. Your content can come at any point, but there has to be consistency. I don't even mean a cyclic consistency. Maybe if you did on Monday, you can come back on Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday, but you have to come back. That's the goal. So self promotion is again something which is really important, and you should understand that self promotion is like, it has to be justified. Being too pushy overwhelms your audience. Okay, so let your expertise speak for you. So when I say, in fact, I covered this part few minutes or maybe couple of minutes ago, that don't force yourself as a brand. Don't let people know that, okay, don't make them accept you're a brand. Let your expertise speak for yourself. Okay, so the subtle art of pitching yourself as the person, as the go-to guy, is very important. Okay, explain what services you can offer, explain what kind of content you can deliver, what kind of problems you can solve, and let people choose you. Don't force them to choose you. Okay, other common mistake is copying others. Genuineness is always the key, right? So people don't want copies, they want original products and authentic voices. So being yourself is the ultimate competitive advantage. Again, your offline behavior is something that can impact, say, to your values. Be consistent in environments. So for example, if I am dedicated to work on something, and if I am not replying to my people on time, I am not consistent. Like, for this can also impact your behavior in the office. If I am taking leaves too often, if I am taking leaves carelessly, okay, this impacts that I am not really putting importance, or I am not having that significance of what I am building in my life, because I'm inconsistent and my behavior is offline. Okay, so online presence is really important. Even if you're building an online presence, your offline behavior must also mirror that. So ensure that you stay true to your values. You're always working on a particular atmosphere. You're there. Integrity is the best asset you can deliver, right? Again, feedback is not criticism, it's a blueprint for growth. Actively listen, filter the insights, and don't use them to adapt to new professional realms. So when I say that, sometimes I can get remarks that, hey Gaurav, that your particular skill is not really great. Okay, hey Gaurav, you did this particular mistake, and Gaurav, we realized that this and this was not right. Someone can say that, Gaurav, I don't think you really spoke this part really well. I think this is one mistake that you did. So out of all the remarks that I can get on a daily basis, I have to reflect and filter. Okay, maybe three of the four are few things that I can agree on, but I'll tell you, as a personal person, it becomes so difficult to accept a criticism that it slowly starts to develop as a skill. Remember, criticism is not something that is letting you down. Okay, remember, criticism is something which is optimism for you. Take it in that way. For example, someone is finding out gaps for you, you should be really happy that, hey, this person did really a good job for me. In fact, now that I leave my bias aside, now that I don't use that logic, my ego is not surfacing in between. Without ego, I am judging that, okay, maybe on reflection he is right, or she is logical. In that point, I will accept it, else I will filter out the insights. Okay, that can also work. Again, X, Twitter, personal sites, LinkedIn are the best platforms that you can develop and real life strong brands. So we can talk about some examples. You will see that Elon Musk is a self brand, Mr. Beast is a YouTube channel, self brand, Steve Jobs, self brand, Arnold Schwarzenegger. They all are really great. Okay, their core traits, what follows, the key lessons that you can learn from it, okay, are some personal stories that can bring in. So at the end, Elon Musk is an entrepreneur, okay. At the end, Arnold Schwarzenegger is an actor, later a politician, okay. But if you look apart from it, their personal brand in their own selves, right? They help us learn, they inspire us. So that's where. So these are the pinnacle of self branding, okay. So of course, to be on this slide, they have done something that they are a global example, okay, that I can use. So similarly, despite being your brand value could not be as high as them because you're a beginner or maybe you're already there, but even if you're not there, even in local community, if you are rising up on, for example, even if you are every iteration perspective, then you're doing good, okay. I would say that's really important. So in order to do that, you have to build your KPIs. I told you website traffic dekh lo, incoming jobs and offers, feedbacks, something that you can take at a very small level. अगर चार लोग में भी काम करो, if you're just working with 4 people, you can take their feedback, take their sentiment, consistency with the growth. That's really important. Okay. So your journey begins now. That's all about how personal branding can work, and a little bit idea or thought that I could give you about personal branding. I hope this session was really useful for you. Now I will see you soon. I mean, like, we are not going anywhere. Maybe we'll just clip this part. So and let's start off with Canva now. Okay. Thank you. Let me quickly give you a brief of what we're going to do. So number one, we have total 4 hours of session packed as 2 hours per day. Day 1, day 2. Day 1, the very first hour is supposed to talk about what are brands, okay. I mean, like, what is personal brand, what are the benefits of having this brand, personal brand, how can it help you and how can you make it, and what are some conclusion on top of it. Very soon, maybe in the next 20-30 minutes, when the slides end, when we have discussed a lot, we will go on and start hands on today with Canva. The goal for this session would be to pick Canva and start designing few things in it, okay. The very first thing we will do is we will walk through the complete UI of Canva. How does it look, what does it feel like? We'll see what Canva AI can do for us. We will build a logo, we will build some banners, okay, and we will take some hands-on sessions today itself, okay. That's the idea. Now, coming back, of course, what does proof of validity means that in order to keep your brand upgraded and updated, you have to ensure that you are demonstrating the market trends. So, for example, in the field of content creation, digital marketing, AI is shaping this industry now. So, you have to shape with it. If you become rigid, then the friction will grind you down and you will drown down the market of branding and your portfolio will collapse. So that's the idea. That's how you can consistently build brand. Remember, brands are not made in a day. It takes years and years of effort. You would have seen more than 100 years, since 1990 or something, since 1800s, so 1900s, since 2000s, okay. You might have seen people taking pride in that part. So that pride comes through years of effort. So even for you, if you reduce the scale, even for your trajectory, if you have to start a new brand, it can take months and years of efforts to build something to a point where people start accepting you as a brand, okay. And we're talking about personal brands right now, okay. Remember, this is like my personal identity. So of course, my knowledge has to be really good. If I really don't know much about AI, then how can I expect to make myself as a personal brand in the AI? If I really don't know different tools, for example, if I don't know how to work with LangChain, if I don't know how to work with Creo AI, Agents SDK, if I don't know what is agentic AI, if I don't know where the world is going in, if I stop looking into the upcoming research, if I stop getting certifications, getting some accreditations, academic degrees, or maybe some courses, or maybe some communities, maybe uh, could be paid, unpaid, whatever kind of proof of validity I can bring in. If I do not engage, then I am somewhere uh, degrading my skills, somewhere I'm losing my skills, somewhere I'm putting dust on what is supposed to be sharp edge. Okay, so that's the idea. Your voice and tone aren't just how you speak, they are how you are remembered. Okay, so authenticity fosters that trust that makes loyalty inevitable. Very, very interesting thought that someone can bring in. Remember that today I am talking like this to you because I am on a screen, I am on a camera, and I am following a particular tone, a particular way in which I'm communicating. But if you turn down this camera, if you bring in my friends, I'm a different person. If you remove my friends, if you bring my family, I'm a different person. If you remove them, if you take me to my workplace, I'm a different person. Okay, if you take me to public places, malls, restaurants, I'm a different person, right? So remember, each place has its own decorum. Each place has its own protocols that you should naturally try to abide by. Okay, so your voice and tone is something that people will remember you with. Okay, so that's something that I told you is not part of today's session. We are not learning communication skills, we are not learning the impact of how to speak and where to speak in which manner. That these are some skills that you can definitely learn. Okay, people, mostly I would say 90%, 95, 99%, whatever I can hypothesize. Okay, uh, amount. So the crux is that majority of the audience which we talk about, they won't invest a lot in building these skills. Okay, they would simply I'll see so many developers who might lack communication, developers who might lack interest to in fact communicate well. See, number one, the biggest notion that people follow is that if you are good with English, you're good at communication. No, it has nothing to do with it. If you do not even have a good vocabulary, but your grammar is good, it's still fine. But I would say, even if we skip the language barrier, it's completely fine to speak one language on this world. Okay, it could be Hindi, it could be any regional language, any language of India, any language of this world you can speak. But there is so much more than just the language that you can communicate with. Okay, it's your complete presence with your mind, your body, your emotions, your tone, your voice, uh, your body language has a very strong impact on what you're delivering. Okay, so of course, number one, I'm today you might feel that my energy is very low. Yes, number one being that I am a little less on sleep cycle because of the work that I have to do. Okay, so because of this, you would feel that I am a little less energetic. If you have seen my other sessions, if you have been following me on Let's Upgrade, you would see that ideally my tone is a little more upwards, my tone is a little more exciting and engaging. But today I might feel really sleepy because I myself am feeling that weakness. Okay, but yes, these are some examples that I'm giving you on how tone can impact him. So yes, that's somewhere around how you can see that your visual identity is something that can be built by personal branding. So what I will recommend all of you is that after today's session, what you can do is, number one, try to build your visiting cards. Number two, try to build your own website. If you're a developer, if you're a developer and you're a student and you're interested in this, try to build a resume which is your self-hosted resume. Okay, and and these things can use Canva AI. These things can use many other AI tools. It can use even if you go to website designing, you can also go for Wix. You can go for Figma. You can go for Adobe Suits. Okay, many platforms that you can design UI. I'm not talking about that part now, but at least for people who are even non-tech, you can try to build your interesting visiting cards, which will carry that impact. The color choices, whether do you want a golden color, whether do you want a silver color, what kind of theme, design, format, layout. Sometimes it could be a square card, a rectangle card, transparent card, plastic card, paper card, whatever it is, colors, typography, professional photography, whatever you want to put in, whether it is a matte finish, whether it is a glossy finish, whether it is a rough finish, whatever you want, what kind of things, your logo being there, okay, definitely bringing in that part. These are few things that you can bring in when you're delivering a brand, okay. So yes, number one, you see that having digital footprint with a strategy is much more beneficial than just being actively posting things. Okay, so remember, to build a brand, you don't just have to bring in the thought that I'm just delivering content. You have to look at the market where it is going. For an example, if in today's market, if I talk about my domain AI, if AI is selling large language models more, if AI is selling agentic AI more, then my brand, my personal brand should reflect over there. All my projects, all my resume, all my LinkedIn posts, all my activities, my digital footprint should have a strategy behind what I'm branding. Okay, so today I start talking about linear regression. Today I start talking about how supervised and unsupervised learning work are active posting, but they are not strategic branding. Okay, strategic branding would be to follow what the world needs tomorrow. You deliver it today as a content. Okay, that's where strategic branding will come into picture. So with that being said, let me just take a quick break. I'll be just back and we will start with defining your vision. All right. Now that we're done with the personal branding component, we have fine understanding. Next part is we'll have to just go to Canva. So in order to go to Canva, you'll have to type canva.com. So for an example, canva.com. This is the website that I'll go to. Okay. Now let me first show you how it looks like when you log out. Okay. So let me just take you to. Okay, I'll just log out first. So what you can do is once you come here, you can sign in with Google. Okay, you can sign in with Google and use your Google account to sign in. Okay, it will take your authentication. It will open up a browser to get you signed in by Google, and once you sign in, this is where you will land. Okay, so this is the homepage of Canva, and this is where we will switch from a fast delivery, like I was speaking the lecture in a very fast pace. Now we will reduce that and we will talk about things very slowly. Okay, now this is serious. We are trying to learn about Canva. What we will do is, on the very home page, the very first thing you will find at the very center of this page is your designs. Okay, your designs, then templates, and then Canva AI. These are three important tabs that you can play with. Okay, so what you can do is you can create your own designs or you can filter out with templates. So the very first thing I wanted to view is how clicking on these things changes layout here and there. Okay, so once I click on your designs, it shows me see what's new. Build your brand with templates as seen on Shark Tank. Okay, empower your design with Women's Day. Eliminate your designs with Ramadan vibes or here and there. This is something which is new on Canva. If I scroll down, I can see some things that I made recently with Canva. Okay, this is my history. Of course, you won't have it, and once you don't have it, it will look a little blank for you. If I click on templates, you will realize by default templates, whatever is running high in the market. Like recently there was a India New Zealand match, I think. Cricket is here, food is here, business, Gudi Padwa, happy birthday, marketing, and a lot. You can minimize this window right from here, minimize options, and this is a basic enter key. I have to enter something. If I don't even want to fiddle around with this search key, I can explore templates in the bottom. So when I click on explore templates, I can create presentations, posters, resumes, email, logo, flyer, brochure, business card, and many more. Instagram post, story, landscape, videos, invitations. If I scroll to the right, I have so much more. Apart from it, these are few designs that I inspired by your designs. These are some designs that I might have made, and more templates for you. Templates that, if you see agile methodology, roadmap foundations, I told you I make a lot of business models in Canvas, roadmaps and methodology, because this is more tuned for what I make. Okay, you see all the scrum programs, timelines, future roadmap ready timelines, these are business management, because I use Canva for this part, chronological timeline. So you will see a lot of history, not history but recommendation to what you can build. Something like this: subscribe, click, and bell icon, and okay, a video like this, and lot more. Okay, so Canva can help you do it. Now, one catch over here is that you will see that there is always a logo that this template is premium if there's a crown on it. Okay, it is included with my Canva Pro plan. Since I'm on a Pro model, this is one difference that will come if you're on a free and a Pro plan, is that some of the templates are not available to you if you do not pay money. But if you use the Canvas paid plan, which is somewhere around, like I think it charges me around 5 to 600 rupees per month, then I have access to all this premium content also. Okay, now once that is done, the next part is Canva AI. Before we go there, just quickly I'll give you maybe a minute. So I'll wait for 1.5 minutes. Let me wait for 90 seconds. I'll give you 90 seconds to just browse this page, look into it. Okay, go ahead. All right. Let me assume that you have seen through this template. Next part is the Canva AI. Now, when it comes to Canva AI, this is again the place where all the AI will draw the content or draw all the efforts to be built. Okay, you can use it to create code, you can use it to create documents, images, some designs, and some video clips also. Again, remember, video clips are with the Pro plan. Okay, again, brand is something, no, sorry, I'll not go there. You will see that these are all for Pro plans. So for an example, now let us start designing few things here and there. Okay, I'll go to simply to templates. The very first thing I'll do, I'll go to template. Okay, on the template I'll try to first design interesting logo. Let me click on logo. Okay, now let me say that I want to create something. What kind of logo do you want to make? Maybe a beach resort, something that is near a beach resort, something like that. Okay, so there are so many interesting logos that I can use to make a ready-made logo, and these logos are really interesting. Okay, but what if I want to genuinely create something which is not matching a template? I want to create my own design. Okay, what I'll do is I'll go to your designs. Okay, and maybe what I can do is I can even try to import things. I can upload items. Okay, on the items I can click on upload. But for example, if I don't want to upload for now, I will just go back to home, I'll go back to your designs. Maybe if there's a template that I really like a lot, for example something like this, okay, I can just take up any random template. You can also go back into the templates, okay. You can try to find, maybe you can search for logo in this template. You can try to find so many templates which are not even like your beach resort, but you like some design. So let us scroll, let us try to see what is something that really inspires us, okay, something that we love a lot. So you will realize that I'm just trying to see. You can pick any of the template actually. So, okay, I'm still looking. What about this template? Okay, so you have to start. In fact, this template is a pro. Okay, I will use a template which is not pro for now. Okay, because I want to follow with even the audience who are free, at least for this particular tutorial. So we are just going through. Okay, I'll use this. Okay, now this is nice. I can also browse some more templates like that. Okay, okay, I think this is fine. I'll customize this template. So let us click on customize this template. So we are going really slow with this session, don't worry. What we have done is we have just picked one template from I'll scroll up. I just searched for logo. In fact, I would have chosen something from logo, but I just want to see something like that, and I picked one. Just click on anything and customize this template is something you want to use. Okay, so once I pick it, I'll change the word local to beach treat. Okay, and I'll just try to increase this part, copy this, reduce the logo size. Okay, I think this is fine. Now, okay, I can still try to reduce this much further. 120, Control Z, 120. Okay, this is fine for me now. Okay, now let me just position it somewhere. Okay, and I'll say beach treat resorts. Okay, this is fine. I can try to increase the size of this PNG a bit. Along with this, I would like to insert some elements. Okay, so when I say element, let me search for sand, but I don't want it in, I just want graphics for it. Okay, sand castle. What about a sand castle? Okay, let's make one. So I'll just search for a random sand castle, something which is not not a pro one. Okay, okay, I think yeah, this is fine. I mean, this is not really a good design, I know, but I'm just trying to demonstrate you few things here and there. Okay, so maybe I'm just trying to inspire you that how you can place things, and maybe if you want palm tree. Okay, so you can have in fact something like a palm tree. For example, I can delete this part, I can delete this, and yep, this is, I can bring beach resort to in layers. I can bring forward, and here what I will do is I'll change the color to white, and I'll change this color to white. Background, I'll Yeah, I think uh, this is too dark for my choice. I mean, but I'm just trying to show you that a lot is possible with things you want to make. Okay, like what about now? Sand castle with a bucket. So now we can always try to use components. Let me delete this one for now. It's big too. Okay, yes. So something like this can also complement. I mean, like, I'm just trying to make some sense. Okay, something like this can complement, okay, whatever we want. So I'm just trying to give you some ideas that how interesting it is to design logos and how it brings in your creativity, okay, that whatever you want to imagine on a beach and however you want to design your logos, okay. So once, suppose if your logo is done, suppose if you're satisfied with this part, next thing is to share, okay. So when I click on share, I can either download it, I can put it on Facebook page story. If you click on see all, there are many more things that you can do: drive, Google Drive, OneDrive, Dropbox, Instagram, YouTube, WhatsApp, iMessage, many more platforms that you can share it. But for the simplest is to download. On the free plan, you can download this as a PNG, okay. But on paid plans, you can go with the SVG. So what is SVG? SVG means that your logo remains secured. Even if you want to zoom it 10 times, you want to keep it really compressed or enlarged, the pixels won't break, okay. SVGs mathematically increase the pixel proportion, the vectors, and they ensure that the logo is intact. PNG, of course, if you download it as a photo, the pixels are fixed. If you try to stretch it, you will lose quality in order to make it a bigger logo, okay. But yes, again, on free plan, JPEG or JPG or PNG are not a deal breaker. You can still use it. You can in fact compress or make it background transparent. Background transparent is a pro feature. Once I click background transparent, I'll not get this coloring, I'll only get the logo. So this is how you can use and download content, okay. So that's interesting. That's how we design logos using Canva. I can in fact resize it, edit it, uh, share it with people. I can add more people to work on this design. Suppose if I want someone with a different email ID to work on this design, I can bring them here and ask them to work with me. I can check for graphics related to whatever I want to add, okay. And really interesting. So that's how we can create some interesting things with Canva.